Once upon a time, there was a man who chased his goals with unwavering dedication. His life was a relentless pursuit of success. But as he climbed higher and higher, he realized that something was missing. He had sacrificed too much and for too long. The beauty of sunsets, the warmth of laughter, the comfort of family, the depth of self-love, all of it had been put on hold for the promise of a future that never seemed to arrive. He was like a tourist visiting his own life, always looking at the next attraction, always planning the next move. He was so focused on reaching the top that he didn't stop to appreciate the view. And the view was breathtaking. The world at his feet, the wind in his hair, the sun on his face, but he couldn't see any of it. He was too busy putting one foot in front of the other, driven by an insatiable hunger for more. Then one day he stopped. He just stopped in the middle of his frantic chase and looked around him. The world seemed to be holding its breath, waiting for him to continue the race. But he didn't. He stayed still, feeling the earth beneath his feet, the sky above his head, the sun warming his skin. For the first time in years, he was present. And in that moment of stillness, something shifted within him. It was like a dam had broken, releasing a torrent of emotions that had been bottled up for far too long. He cried out, not tears of sadness, but tears of joy, of relief, of gratitude. He laughed, a deep, hearty laugh that echoed in the vast expanse of his chest. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, savoring the taste of freedom in his mouth. He was alive. He was truly alive. And as he stood there, basking in the warmth of the present moment, he realized that this was where happiness resided, not in the frantic chase, but in the art of simply being. He turned around and looked at the world with new eyes. The familiar streets seemed to shimmer with a newfound beauty. The people he passed by, strangers just a moment ago, now seemed like old friends. The world was full of wonder, and he was filled with childlike curiosity. He started to explore, to engage with the world around him, to connect with others, to feel the pulse of life. He reconnected with long-lost friends. He reached out to that old flame, the one who had gotten away. He began to nurture the relationships that had withered on the vine, investing time and energy into making them thrive. He started to notice small things, the changing of the seasons, the blooming of flowers, the laughter of children. He began to appreciate the simple pleasures in life, a warm cup of coffee, a good book, a stimulating conversation. He developed new hobbies, painting, pottery, cooking. He immersed himself in these activities, finding joy in the creative process rather than just the end product. He began to love himself again, not in a narcissistic way, but in a way that allowed him to accept himself, flaws and all. He forgave himself for the mistakes of the past, the times he had been selfish or short-sighted. He realized that perfection was a myth, and that it was in his imperfections that made him human, that made him lovable. And as he embraced his imperfections, he found a sense of inner peace that had eluded him for so long. He was no longer trying to be someone else, someone better, someone more successful. He was content with who he was. And then one day, while he was sitting in a park watching the sunset, it hit him. This was it. This was the happiness he had been chasing all those years ago. He had found it right here, right now, in the present moment. The happiness he had sought after so relentlessly had been within his grasp all along. He had just been too blind to see it, and so he continued to sit there, basking in the glow of the setting sun, grateful for the beauty of the world, grateful for the gift of life, grateful for the opportunity to start over, to create a new story for himself, a story that wasn't just about success, but about happiness, real, true, lasting happiness. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Thank you for watching.